Ever since the World Bank has started its activities in the West Bank and Gaza, its mission has been clearly directed towards financing vital projects to help raise the living conditions of the Palestinians, which are gravely influenced by the existence of external closures and internal restrictions.
The World Bank has been here in Palestine since 1994, and the reason we're here is to help Palestinians. And during those 10 or more years, the World Bank has financed the rehabilitation of roads, the building of new health centers, the building of new schools, sending children to high school and graduating from high school, even during the Intifada, basic infrastructure in water, sanitation, and electricity.
Energy supply is one of the sectors that the World Bank has granted fund for in the West Bank and Gaza for the purpose of benefiting electricity consumers. The project's main goal was to provide sustainable quality of electricity supply, whereas the long-term vision of this project is to establish an overall institutional basis for a sustainable operation of the sector and to strengthen the capacity of the Palestinian Authority to put in place power sector reforms and sector environmental regulations.
The sector was completely fragmented, and a need was felt to consolidate and the electricity service activities of the municipalities into companies.
We have created two new electricity distribution companies and restructured the existing company, which is the Jerusalem District Electricity Company. The project institutionally also helped the Palestinian Energy Authority in terms of its legislation, regulations, directives, all things related to run the sector by institutions capable of providing the service at best quality and affordable prices.
قبل تنفيذ المشروع طبعا الشركة كانت تعاني من عدة أمور. كانت تعاني من ترهل.
Before the implementation of the project, the company was suffering from different problems, like the rundown in the organizational structure, job functions and descriptions, problems in managing the company's information systems and networks, in addition to many cuts and other problems. Therefore, it was important to attain outside help. The World Bank has been one of the most helpful groups that assisted us in this matter.
كل ما يتعلق بموضوع أنظمة المعلومات من الحاسوب المركزي.
All components for information technology, from the server to upgrading and connecting the systems we have been funded by the World Bank.
بأنها تكون بشكل مترابط ومتكامل برضه ممولها البنك الدولي. بالإضافة إنه البنك الدولي.
In addition to that, the World Bank has supplied us with approximately 300 transformers, which were paid for by the loan to increase the capacity of the networks.
لإضافتها على خطوط الشركة لتقوية التيار الكهربائي.
We got the money, we start utilizing the money, we got now the software and the hardware, the staff is being trained, fully utilizing the system. What is the outcome of this project now? We started to modern this part of electricity in West Bank. We start to use modern technology, modern schemes.
استلمنا من البلديات شبكات عشوائية غير
We took over from the municipality's random networks, unorganized, and the capacity of the networks to function in future years was unknown.
مواصلات منزلية بطريقة عشوائية.
And now that we have administration, management, finance, and technical competencies, we were able to improve the networks. We are able to rehabilitate plants and connect electricity to people who didn't have electricity until 2006.
احنا كان عندنا كهرباء ضعيفة واجت شركة
We had weak electrical connectivity, and thanks to the company, we have a new transformer now. We hope the conditions of the energy will improve in our area.
نقدر نستخدم أدوات كهربائية كويسة.
كان البعض عندنا الضوء عنده غير كافي لضوء البيت، لكن في الوقت الحالي
We did not have enough energy, and now we use the neon lights, which are very good and economical as well.
ضوء كافي، ومن ناحية اقتصادية كمان بوفر على أهل القرية.
وأهداف الشركة أنها تخدم كل المنطقة. يمكن إحنا اليوم عندنا كتير.
The aim of the company is to provide energy to people. It's very important to us, and it's a priority to bring light to areas that have never seen electricity before. This may be more of a priority than to improve the networks in other areas.
A paperless company, a paperless unit. We are using all the computer in all activities.
The clients before used to complain about the company. Now they actually thank the company's efforts, and they are pleased with the services the company offers.
And that's our commitment, is to continue to work with these partners until we have a viable and sustainable Palestinian economy.
Communities in Gaza Strip face serious threats because of the poor sewage treatment. These threats can become severe in case this problem is not addressed properly. Considering that this problem would distress the population, the public health, and the environment, the sewage treatment project came to mitigate these threats and to provide a long-term solution to the operation and management of sewage services.
The project will improve the environmental conditions in the project area for about 250,000 living in North Gaza.
Sanitary drainage basins in Beit Lahia are not called by that name, but they are called basins of death. People who live in the areas of these basins have been subjected to many incidents of child drowning in the basins, and the overflow of sewage in those basins because they stand on a higher level than of the surrounding houses. Sewage overflows happen on numerous occasions and reach distance to no less than 1 kilometer, which causes the drowning of more than 4 children. Also, this led to the displacement and suffering of many people due to the spread of many insects such as mosquitoes in the area.
الأمراض اللي بتنقلها هذه الحشرات وبالتحديد البعوض عندما تلسع أي إنسان منا.
The project is funded by the World Bank and other international donors. The project comprises of two parts. Part A, transfer of the wastewater from the Beit Lahia Lake to the new wastewater treatment plant. And Part B is the construction of the wastewater treatment plant, which will serve the population of North Gaza area. The number of population to be served at this time is around 200,000 population. Ultimately, it will reach 550,000 population, which is basically 1/3 of the Gaza population.
This project mainly is 8,000 meter of a ductile iron pipe, 800 millimeter diameter. And you can see now we just started from the beginning section near the terminal pumping station. From this point, we will go forward up to the treatment plant near the Palestinian-Israeli border at the eastern part. The total budget for all the projects is around $12 million for Part A. Part A is mainly consists of 3 projects. The pressure pipe, we are now just in the site at the beginning, the terminal pumping station, and the third one is the infiltration basin at the eastern of Jabalia city.
The World Bank, the PA more importantly, and all of the donors that have participated in this very important project can be proud of the benefits that it's going to bring in terms of improved health and improved environmental quality. This project is really going to change the face of Gaza.
It is well known that solid waste can severely affect the public health and environment, and therefore the degradation of the level of environmental qualities and life of the population is it was not to be managed properly.
The World Bank was responding to a Palestinian development plan priority that aims at improving and protecting the Palestinian environment in the West Bank and Gaza Strip. That's where both parties agreed to implement at the first stage an environment management project, engineering, which would carry out an introduction of a first of its kind sanitary landfill to address municipal waste.
عملية التخلص من النفايات كانت تتم عن طريق
Waste disposal was carried out through the transfer of waste and garbage to unlicensed and scattered dumping sites throughout the region.
وكان
Waste and garbage have been either incinerated or buried. This causes serious damage to the environment and to the spread of harmful insects and rodents.
كبيرة للبيئة وانتشار للحشرات المضرة والقوارض كما كان أثناء التخلص.
Burning waste with diesel spreads fumes in the area, and fire used to cause a lot of losses to the owners of adjacent land, worth hundreds of thousands of dollars.
أحيانا التي كانت تسبب خسارة كبيرة للأراضي المجاورة بمئات الألوف من الدولارات.
Weak infrastructure and lack of institutional capacity were the main targets of the bank, as it funded projects to design and construct landfills, treatment systems, and earthworks. Such projects also tackled aspects related to solid waste management, rehabilitation of uncontrolled dumps, and supply of equipment.
There was a great need to rehabilitate and improve and close the random dump sites which were spread throughout the 85 communities benefiting from this project.
مشروع بناء مكب زهرة الفنجان هو عبارة
Zahrat al-Finjan dumping site project consists of two parts. The first part is constructing the site, and the second part is rehabilitating all dumping sites in the area.
وحصر مكبات جنين ال 84 مكب في 5 مكبات.
In Jenin, there are 5 dumping sites, which have been rehabilitated. Also, 84 dumping sites were contained. Incineration of garbage and waste does not take place in those sites any longer, and a special layer is spread under the waste to prevent infiltration of waste fluids to groundwater. Garbage and waste are covered on daily basis as they are transferred to transitional dumping sites as well as Zahrat al-Finjan. This area was a dumping site for the city for more than 20 years. People used to bring their garbage and dump it here. Of course, we couldn't build in this area for many years. We used to seek help from the responsible authorities, but to no avail. Lately, however, we have reached a solution with the municipalities and the Council of Joint Services. They helped and they brought in their bulldozers and cleaned the area completely. The land became usable and even better than it was before.
While this project started as a landfill for Jenin alone, subsequently Tulkarem and Nablus both joined the project. And there's even a prospect of a 4th municipality joining the project. So from this point of view, it's been a very successful example of municipalities working together to solve what is really a very serious environmental problem in the northern West Bank.
The Water and Wastewater Project implemented by the World Bank aims at improving the provision of adequate water and wastewater services, even though the road to achieving that is long and difficult, let alone the crisis that is taking place in the area. Yet the bank's role and experience in emergency operations is capable of initiating and achieving change in the water sector.
First of all, we improve the water quality in terms of disinfection, in terms of making sure that the service reaches almost everybody conveniently enough to about 1.5 million inhabitants in Gaza. So the scope of the project is throughout Gaza Strip. Water quantity by introducing new quantities and replacing the wells which are out of service. Also improving the administrative and managerial skills of the newly established coastal municipalities water utility.
An earlier bank-supported water and sanitation services proved successful when it helped rehabilitate water networks and improve water and wastewater services delivery.
In 1996, Gaza 1 project was launched, and it was to improve water and sanitation simultaneously. And the idea of launching a capable body able to operate the services in a professional way. This came from consecutive programs, and the World Bank adopted the idea which aims to improve water and sanitation services simultaneously. From 1996 to 2000, work has been done to improve water and sanitation services. Chlorination of wells was improved, and the capacity of water networks was improved as well, reaching an efficiency of more than 75%. In the year 2000, we were supposed to begin with the third stage. In 2000, the second intifada began, forcing the program to a halt and stopping the World Bank from financing the project of Gaza 2. However, in order not to waste what was developed in 4 years, the World Bank agreed to resume funding the project through emergency funds.
The CMWU, Coastal Municipalities Water Utility, has just launched a project to rehabilitate and drill new wells in this area which is suffering from water quality and water shortages. The strategy of the CMWU, which is online with the technical advice from the World Bank, is to disperse especially these wells and limiting their capacity to about 60 cubic meter per hour instead of having one big well, so that the phenomena of upconing is going to be controlled and the quality of water which is pumped out of these wells can be preserved as long as possible.
Of course, in the case of the Gaza Emergency Water Project, there is a key, clear and concrete benefit, and that is the provision of clean water to the Palestinian population. But there are other important aspects to this. One is the focus on institution and building of local institutions, in this case the Coastal Municipal Water Utility, to undertake its functions in implementation in managing the sector in an efficient way, and in the process drawing in additional donor funds, badly needed donor funds, I might add. There's also a very important aspect to this, and that is the fact that these projects in and of themselves generate local labor. They involve the local private sector. They create jobs, they create business opportunities, and this is also an important aspect of the work and one of the key objectives of the World Bank.
Water is available, and we make use of it well in this period. And thank God there were no water cutbacks. In this country, water is available now in a good way. We use the dropping system to save it.
The Emergency Services Support Project was launched in 2002 to alleviate the effects of economic crisis by financing non-salary recurrent expenditures of key social ministries.
The Emergency Services Support Project started in the beginning of 2002, and it was an initiative from the World Bank to meet the needs of the Palestinian National Authority, especially the ministries that offer basic services like health, education, and social affairs. Obviously, the World Bank moved at the request of the Palestinian National Authority to support those sectors, especially that they were collapsing or have completely stopped, and to finance the provision of basic services offered by the ministries to Palestinian society. Under the third stage, we focused on the same sectors, but we added two new ones, which are the energy and water sectors. The current budget is $55 million, but what's more important for us is to cover the operational expenses for these ministries and to assist them in providing services for the Palestinian people.
This medicine is not available in this clinic.
Not all medicines are available.
It costs 70 shekels.
We are not receiving it at the moment at all.
The Emergency Service Support Project is considered one of the most important projects. I consider it a life-saving project, because without this project, the health system in the country would have collapsed. Now the project covers the operational expenses of the Ministry of Health, including all necessary funds to operate hospitals and health centers in Palestine, as well as the cost of delivering needles that are used to inject patients, the delivery of medicine and medical equipment. The project also covers communication and transport expenses and gasoline for ambulances. The ESSP guarantees that the Ministry of Health continues to provide its services to Palestinian society.
The importance of the ESSP stems from the fact that it was established in a time of dire need. This project supported the budget of the Ministry of Social Affairs in a time when there were no resources in the Ministry of Finance. It has had a remarkable impact since it contributed to financing the purchase of a lot of equipment which facilitated the implementation of the ministry's activities and the provision of services to people throughout all the ministry's centers, including youth training centers, rehabilitation centers for the disabled, centers for the elderly, centers for juveniles, and centers for children and women's development. The project contributed to the development of all of these centers, which in turn facilitated our work.
احنا وصلنا لوضع اقتصادي صعب داخل الجامعة ومش جديد.
We have reached a difficult economic situation at the university. This situation is not new to us, and it's happening at every university in the country. There is a lot of talk about the economic hardship that accumulated at the universities, especially due to the lack of operational funds.
للجامعات فيها مشكلة وكان في عندنا خطر هائل إنه الكفاءات الفلسطينية.
Also, there is a huge risk that existing Palestinian competencies in the country are leaving due to difficult economic conditions. This is a realistic and tangible risk. There have been joint interventions on behalf of the World Bank and the universities to reverse this condition. Previous World Bank activities in this area have been emphasized, and the World Bank has been successful in supporting universities. The attempt of the World Bank or any donor to assist in training competencies within Palestine and within universities. In particular, also, the possibility of bringing additional academic competencies are all initiatives that support the existence of academic institutions, which is an essential factor in the sustainability of Palestinian society.
The position of the World Bank is one of the best positions that we have seen in terms of their receptivity to the current crisis and in their creativity and initiatives to deal with the crisis. They were not imposing in their opinions, but they were cooperative. They were supportive and creative in finding links and means of cooperation with the Palestinian Authority to meet and cover the basic needs of the Palestinian citizen.
كانوا كثير متعاونين في انهم يلاقوا لينكس وطريقه للتعاون مع السلطه لايجاد على الاقل يعني البيسك نيدز للمواطن الفلسطيني.